I just want to give a content warning. I will be discussing an incident of sexual assault, so take care of yourself. I was 16, and I had my first job at a summer camp. That was 2 hours away from home. And this, I knew going in would be a hard job, as in I was working in the kitchen, but I did not realize that I was going to be facing emotional abuse from the cook, who absolutely hated me. I don't know what I ever did to her, but for some reason, from the day I started, she made it her goal to make that place a nightmare. And she succeeded. Every day I got in and I was told how terrible I was as a human being, as a worker, and as anything. And slowly over time, I had coworkers that believed that I had no dignity as a human being, that everything within me was not valuable. Anything I ever touched was garbage. I was sharing a cabin with my coworkers, and I remember going to bed one night, snuggled up in my sleeping bag with a nightgown on. And I remember waking up freezing cold, and the sleeping bag being unzipped and thrown on the floor, and my nightgown being moved up to my armpits. And I was terrified. I immediately got up and I went to the bathroom, and I remember wanting to shower because I felt dirty. I felt so unclean. I felt like there was a part of me that was seen by people I never wanted to see this. And the next morning, I called home. I told my mom exactly what happened, as other coworkers were listening, because, fun fact, cell service didn't work. And my mom, as any good mother would be, was terrified. She was absolutely appalled that something would happen like this. And she contacted my supervisors and people who were supposed to be looking after the camp, people who had given money to the camp. She contacted all of them to say what had happened to me. And at 16, I knew that I was doing something, that my experience was not going to be taken seriously. I had somehow known a bit about this, but I didn't expect to be on the forefront of it. Well, the pastor's kid who ended up doing this to me was told it was never punished for it. And to be honest, I don't know if his parents ever really found out that he was the one that did it, but he was. And it turns out that the organization that was running the camp decided to do an investigation on the camp director, which is wonderful. Because the camp director realized what had happened and who it had happened to, she called me into her office for an immediate eval. Now, this was my first job, and looking back as an adult, I realized how unprofessional this is and how she did not even care. So I'm there in the office, who, if she hears this, I still hate her. Absolute terrible human being. I'm there in her office. And she's like, well, why can't you just get along with your coworkers? as if I was the one that said it was okay to look at my naked body while I was sleeping. And I was like, I don't think the problem is with me. And I also want to know why we're having this eval. And that, for the first time, was me having a voice in what felt like a situation where my voice was trying to be silenced by every possibility. And she looked at me and she goes, well, I don't think you understand. I'm just trying to help. And that's when I realized that there are people who will never understand that bad things can happen to good people, and that our humanity is something that is innate and it should never be given away. Thank you.